Welcome to the Prep Zone. My name is Grant Yenny, and here we are at the final game of the regular season. Slidell traveling to take on Northshore, a big rivalry matchup. And now, rivalry has been kind of an overused term, but this is a rivalry in every sense of the word. Both teams trade wins. Slidell leads 6-4 in the last 10 years of this rivalry. It should be a good one tonight. So let's bring in our color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. Coach, let's start with Slidell. What do we know about them coming into tonight?
Well, they're very balanced on the offensive side of the ball. Two guys that can actually move the ball with their feet. But they got a guy in Tito Simmons. He can receive the ball in an out route and do something with it. And up front, their front seven, really impressive. Coach Cobell's done a good job on that side of the ball, getting those guys ready to go.
And Northshore, the home team, what do we know about them?
Well, DB high, as we've mentioned before, they've got the guys in the, on the backside of their secondary. They're fantastic, and then Walter Harris. I mean, what a fantastic guy to run the attack on that side of the ball.
So thank you, Coach. We spoke with both coaches moments ago. Let's hear what they had to say and get to the action. Pre-game with Coach Berg. Coach, you're coming into a rivalry matchup here with Slidell this week. How was your week of preparation?
Great week of practice. I mean, probably the best week we had this whole season. We practiced good all year long, but this week was, something special about this week. The kids, they were relaxed and they seemed to have fun at practice, but they were locked in. It was just something different about this week. It felt really good.
We were talking about how even this matchup is. What's it going to take to get the win against Slidell tonight?
I think it's whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. I really do. I think both teams are going to make plays. I mean, they're well coached. And they got some really good athletes, and we have to. We have to play our best game tonight to win, and we got to do that every week, and it's just about us going out there and playing our game, and I think hopefully we'll come out on top. We'll see.
Pre-game with Coach Favre. Coach, how was your week of preparation coming into this rivalry matchup tonight?
Maybe our best week of practice. We really were focused. I thought last week was homecoming. I thought we really lost our focus, and so we made a decision to refocus this week, and we saw that, and I'm proud of the kids the way they practiced.
How do you control focus and emotions going into a rivalry matchup where it's, the pride of the city?
Well, we talk about it. We talk about, hey, rivalries are fun and they're intense, but we play for a lot more higher than just playing for week 10. Be excited, play with a lot of passion and emotion. But it's not about one game for us at Slidell. We're past that point now in our program. This is week 10, and then we get to start week 11 next week. So, it's just the next one up.
This is a great matchup tonight, two evenly matched teams. How do you come out of Northshore with a win tonight?
Wow, we got to control the quarterback, because when he gets on the edge, no one's caught him yet. Once he gets in the next level, he's gone. We got to be who we are. We're a punishing defense that's really good against the run. We got a relentless ground attack, and we've got great special teams, and we just got to be who we are and be in our identity, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may.
Andrew Stein in to kick this one off for the North Shore Panthers here on senior night in this rivalry matchup. Stein is one of those kickers we've seen all season who can put it in the end zone. He kicks this one deep, and Harvey catches it in the end zone for the touchback.
More of the same. Just like we've said, when you can limit the opportunity for a big play from your opponent, that's a nice weapon to have.
Under a beautiful full moon here at North Shore High School, we're getting this rivalry matchup underway. Both coaches said in pregame, as you just saw, that this was both teams' best week of practice heading into this matchup tonight.
Yeah, I would imagine they're keenly aware of the circumstances and definitely focused.
So Jacob Guidry and company take the field. Guidry, a designed run going up the middle, and he'll be dropped by number 23, Evan Savage.
Yeah, I tell you what, Savage did a good job right there. Got some penetration in on the interior, and clogged up the middle beautifully right there.
Savage, a 5'8", 200-pound junior, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Tiger offense.
And I tell you, Slidell, if they can get going, their front seven could keep them in a driver's seat. But if North Shore's defense can make a stand here, it's going to be interesting.
Motion across, handoff, goes right side to Dixon. No gain on the play.
And I mean, just a bunch of guys from North Shore finding the ball. There must have been a half dozen Panthers right there.
Yeah, led by Panks and Cavallo.
Yes, he definitely had the first lick, so to speak, but they were pursuing fantastically right there.
So 3rd and a long 9 for Slidell here. 10:49 to go here in the first. Guidry in the gun, Dixon to his right, Twins to the left. North Shore early with the I believe we will win chant.
Tito Simmons time.
Guidry looking right side through the hands of Tyrell Silvas.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if he would have gotten the first down there anyway, but there was some zip on that ball, and I think that might be just the rivalry. You know, you get your juices flowing, get you ready to go, and you got to manage that. You got to take a step back and continue to do what you've done so well.
So Khalil Fleming back to return the punt. Punt coming from Candiff, the 6'4", 295-pound punter for Slidell, and a lot of pressure was bearing down on that one. Cavallo very close to it. They tried to return it there as 25. Noah Marquez tried to pick up the ball and run with it. Very gutsy there. You're supposed to, when the Peter call is on, you run away from it.
And I would imagine that North Shore's coaching staff is going to, reiterate that after that play. It's one of those that, yes, it could be a big play, but it could be a big play for you, or it could be a big play for your opponent. So the smart play there is, look, when you hear the Peter call and it's time to get out of the way, that's exactly what you do.
So we see Walter Harris and company, the senior, on senior night here at North Shore.
And he's quality.
Headed to West Point after this season. Quality in the classroom and on the field. Harris calls for it, hands off, up the middle, has a hole, and he hit that one like a bullet.
Yes, he did. And I mean, he was 4 yards down the field before he was touched. Now,
Dwayne Jones Jr.
To Slidell's credit, once he got hit, he wasn't going any further. But I can promise you, North Shore's happy with 4 yards of pop all night long.
And on the stop there, Nicholas Jackson, the 6'1", 205-pound senior linebacker. Now in Brainium bounds, running back by committee for the Panthers. Trips to the right. Keeper Harris running up the middle, and he'll be very close to a first down.
Yeah, I would have to say he's got it based on the spot. And, when you're getting 4 yards here, 6 yards there, it's really looking nice in terms of the play call and the results right now if you're the North Shore Panthers.
Yeah, and it is a first down for the Panthers.
That's a North Shore Panther. First down.
Players subbing in and out. A lot of subs coming in as Harris calls in the new play from the sideline.
And I'm sure the front seven for Slidell, they're looking to attack here. They've been on their heels the first
Jet
series.
sweep on the carry is Marcus Clay. A lot of room left side, still going. He's pushed out of bounds over there.
Great play call right there because Slidell was. They were looking to do a little run blitz right there. And you know what? Basically, they attacked where the ball wasn't. North Shore did a good job basically putting the ball outside where the space was.
Pushed out by the senior Lenaja Harvey for Slidell. So now two back set for the Panthers, another first down. Oh, and the hard count.
It's worked all year, so why not now?
That'll move up the Panthers. And yeah, every game we see the hard counts used. Usually early the teams are holding discipline, but here the first time it's employed.
Again, it's one of those where it's a big game and it means a lot. Your adrenaline's, rush flowing, and this is what you see.
Harris there, they tried it again. Harris now turning for the new play. Jones Jr. and Cavallo in the backfield.
And don't kid yourself, though. This running game is actually causing Slidell to have to look to fire off the ball quickly.
Harris designed run going left side. He's met before crossing the line to get a gain there. He's brought down by 32, Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, 6'1", 205. He's a senior. So this game means a lot to him. It's his last edition of this rivalry. So he went in there and he made sure Harris wasn't getting any further than he initially got.
these seniors on Slidell are looking to make it 3 out of 4 wins against North Shore in their time here.
It's been a good rivalry. As you said, 6-4 over the last 10 years. Kind of shows how balanced it's been and intense.
And, Harris keeps it himself, goes up the middle. He's stopped after a short gain, brought down by number 46, Jylan Claiborne, along with other Tigers.
Yeah, Claiborne did a good job right there as well. Another senior. Slidell, 210 pounds across the board right there with your linebackers. And if you are running back and you're trying to fight for an extra yard, I can promise you Slidell's going to make you pay for it.
So Harris in the gun on 3rd down, 3rd and 2. Harris bobbles the ball. A flag is down. Harris takes off, and he'll be stopped very close to the 1st down, but we'll see what this flag is. It could negate the run.
It may, could be an offside in terms of alignment, especially where the flag is. It's just an odd spot.
So awaiting the call, White Hat running over to talk to Coach Favre.
So it would seem as though it's on North Shore. So
yeah.
The question is do they take it? Because they did get a stop right there. So that would set up a field goal.
It's an illegal procedure on the Panthers. So that'll make it 3rd and about 7 for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision just for one simple reason. But North Shore was looking at a field goal right there, and this is still definitely within the range, obviously, of their kicker. So
we've seen Stein make a 49-yarder.
I mean, he just has a cannon.
So on 3rd and 7, Harris awaiting the play call. They have twins to the right, bounds in the backfield, and Coach Berg will take a timeout to talk it over with his squad as the score is tied 0-0 with 7:25 remaining here in the 1st quarter. After the timeout, 3rd and 7.
And this sets up something interesting. Coach Favre electing to basically keep the Panthers offense on the field.
Jet sweep, handoff goes, looking to cut upfield, and that will be a very close to a 1st down. Maybe it's going to be a little shy from where that official standing. So that'll bring up 4th and 1.
Well, I think this was a concern for Coach Favre when he was looking at it. He basically thought at 4th and 2.5, which is what it would have been had he declined the penalty, was that North Shore would go for it. And look, North Shore's been getting 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, occasionally 6, and not a surprise to see them going for it. So, on the surface, that decision doesn't make sense until you actually look at it from Coach Favre's eyes, and then it makes total sense, because here we are.
Panks in the backfield with Harris. Harris, keeper, running behind Panks, and he's dragged down in the backfield. A big stop there by Tajay King.
Wow.
King, the 5'8", 200-pound senior. A big play there for the Tigers as North Shore turns over on downs. And we'll see the Slidell offense once again.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it worked out for Coach Favre and the Tigers right there because at 4th and 3, 3.5, you never know. North Shore with Coach Berg, they might come out and use Stein, nice little chip shot, and put points on the board. Now, still 0-0, and Slidell's getting another bite of the apple.
Guidry calls for it, hands off in the end zone, dragged down, and a flag will be thrown as an official got shoved over there. The official, I don't know about that one. You can hear some yelling in here, but it did look like an accident that the player stumbled into the official, but the official seemed a little heated when he threw that flag down, like he thought it was intentional. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. It seems a little, how can we say, as you said, sensitive.
Yeah.
And he's waving it off.
There we go. That's good.
It's a smart play there.
Yeah.
I guess in the moment when someone bumps into you, that's your initial reaction. But the reality is, after a little reflection, cooler heads prevail.
Brings up 2nd down and 14 from the 1-yard line.
So they're at the 1-yard line. wasn't in the end zone. It looked to me like he was in the end zone.
I think he was in the end zone. I think he just got the ball out with a reach. Because other than that, it would have been a safety.
So, yeah, ball at the 1 yard line. It's 2nd and 14 for the
play
Tiger
here.
offense.
Big play.
And we have another stoppage as Slidell calls a timeout to talk it over here as they're at the 1 yard line. So with 6 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, the score is tied at 0. All right, Slidell at the 1 yard line here on offense on 2nd and 14. Dixon to Guidry's right. You have 2 receivers to the left. Motion across. Guidry, quick pass, complete over the middle to Caleb Joseph.
6'3", 180-pound receiver right there, maybe a senior as well, another senior on this Slidell team.
Yeah, the second leading receiver for the team, 13 receptions, 283 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So there was his 14th reception.
And a big guy, big target, not scared to go over the middle, knowing he's going to get a free massage. So that gets them comfortable. They're in. Their back isn't up against the wall as much anymore, but it's still 3rd down. And Guidry has time, rolling to his right, looking downfield, tosses it complete to Silvas, and he'll have the first down. I tell you what, that was a great decision by Guidry. He obviously had his eyes up, surveying, and then of course, Northshore's defensive back did the right thing. He's not going to let Guidry run for the first, so it was decision time, and I tell you what a nice job right there of Guidry, just taking his time, putting on the brakes, and finding the pass.
1st and 10 for the Tigers, 5:11 to go here in the first. Guidry calling for it, pressure coming, rolling right, he'll take off, keeping this one himself, and he'll slide down after about a 4-yard gain.
I tell you, that's literally his athleticism, because North Shore had some pressure up the middle, which caused him to go into escape mode. But, just like the play before, there's some hesitation because the reality is if he puts the brakes on, he could find someone downfield. North Shore did a good job of limiting that to 5 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 5. They're going with a 2-back set here. Guidry calling for it. He'll keep it himself. Pitch. And to Dixon. Dixon looking to cut inside. He's met by McDonald. And wrestled down for maybe a gain of 1.
And I tell you what, that play looked like it had potential. But gosh, McDonald, I mean, there's a reason he's a Big Ten guy in the future and a Northwestern commit. He just ate the distance up, and once he got his arms around him, it was over.
Yeah, and not just athleticism going to play for Northwestern, but good football smarts, absolutely, and instinct.
That's right, in the classroom and on the field.
So 3rd and 4 for the Tigers, looking to get a drive going, dropping back. Guidry looking to pass. He'll run, and he'll be dragged down.
And I tell you, that was a coverage sack all the way. We talk about DB high. Guidry just had nowhere to go with the ball.
Hunter Gill on the tackle, dragging him down, and that'll bring on Candiff in the punt unit.
And look, it's not like Slidell doesn't have guys that can go out there and make plays. That just kind of illustrates the level and the ability and the skill set that North Shore's DBs have.
Brings up 4th down and 7.
And Khalil Fleming, one of those DBs we're talking about, going to West Point. He's back to return as Candiff punts this one away. Good snap back. Candiff booms this one. High punt. Fleming, fair catch. And the Panthers will take over at the 43-yard line.
I tell you, we keep seeing, and we say it over and over again, but we see it time and time again, well-coached squads, and no surprise, seniors that are just playing at the next level, which is why they're going to the next level.
Exactly.
So it's a, gosh, what what a nice problem to have when you have this many seniors, and it's like, all right, where do we put them to best maximize their ability?
Not only that, but in the locker room, character guys. I mean, when you have 2 West Point guys and then a guy going to Northwestern, that's
stout.
Major character to have in your locker room, guiding the future as the handoff goes to bounds, and he's met at the line.
I tell you what, Nick Jackson, again right there. We keep talking about seniors. There's one of the seniors we mentioned for Slidell. And, we talked about it, 205. And, I mean, when you hit him, you're going to really have a hard time shaking a tackle.
That'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Panthers. Ball at the 44. Harris surveying the defense. 2-back set, calling for it. Handoff here goes to Jones up the middle, and he'll be stopped after a gain of about 2. On that carry was Marcus Clay. But about a 2-yard gain, so that'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and Trevon Stacker was one of the guys in there. It looked like this time a junior, yet another upperclassman, if you will, and 190. He's the small guy. Gosh, when someone 190 hits you, you know it, and anything above that, you're really going to know it.
3rd and 7, 2 wide receivers, 2-back set, motioning Jones out. Harris calling for it, looking to pass. It's a screen set up to Bounds. Bounds going left side, and he'll be pushed out of bounds about 2 yards shy of the first down. That should bring up 4th and 2.
And Kobe Pettis did a great job, basically going sideline to sideline right there, making sure that that screen pass didn't get anything more than what it did. And I tell you, it was actually a good play call. It's one of those things, though, where he got out in front of his blockers, and after that, that play kind of died at that moment.
And Pettis, as you mentioned, plays sideline to sideline like his hair is on fire. He's the leading tackler for this Slidell squad. Snap is back. Punt is away by Dunlop, and it will be fair caught by Lanaja Harvey at around the 10-yard line of Slidell. But Austin Dunlop, stellar punt there.
Absolutely, and Harvey made the right decision. Your feet are planted on the 10-yard line. If it's going to go, over your head, you let it go over your head. But if you can field it, you field it. Just because percentage-wise, it's a smart play. And again, it just goes back to coaching. Both of these squads, Coach Ward, Coach Favre, they're
phenomenal coaches. Phenomenal.
Their squads are going to be well coached. These teams can play.
Slidell taking their time to get back out onto the field as they reset the chains, and the ball the ball looks to be spotted at the 5.
Yeah, I keep waiting for them to wind the clock.
Scratch at the 5-yard line.
Well,
it looked. I mean,
I thought he was at the 10.
Yeah. Well,
that's weird.
so first to 10 from the 5.
I need new glasses.
Same. I have 20/20 vision. That's what I saw. Like handoff goes to Dixon. Dixon immediately met by a host of Panthers and dropped at the 3. So that'll be a loss of 2.
Yeah, I tell you, good penetration right there by Northshore. They were in the backfield with some quickness. Looked like, let's see, Heath Panks Jr., another senior. Like I said, it's not a surprise.
What a pedigree there, too.
Yes, no kidding. No kidding.
50 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 2nd and 11. Guidry in the gun, quickly calling for the snap. He'll hand it off. Looking for a hole, hits it hard, squirting through defenders there, but he'll be brought down at about the 10. So that'll make it 3rd and 6.
And I tell you what, that was actually a good hole. And Simmons hit the hole pretty quick right there. And, we keep looking for Simmons to get involved, and that's one way to do it.
Pick up a 6, brings up 3rd down and 5.
So, 3rd and 5. Ball is at the 11. And the clock
Looks
running
like
down, and they'll let the game clock run out as the play clock is about 6 seconds above it. So that will end the first quarter with the score tied at 0.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
All right, 3rd and 5 for Slidell, kicking off the second quarter here. Guidry calling for it, dumps it off. Good play call to Dixon, has room to run. He'll cross the 30. And a big play for Slidell there on the screen, the middle screen.
Yeah, great play call, and I tell you what, a great job of just settling in, getting behind your blocks, and as soon as he was able to find the crease, Dixon was able to hit that seam and you know, eat up some yards, putting on the Jets before he was caught from behind.
Yeah, Guidry with that fake to the left draw some of the defenders' eyes the other way.
Absolutely.
They didn't see Dixon open in the middle. High snap, Guidry able to get it after bobbling it, rolling to his right, and he's going to just try and run forward, but he'll be dropped for about a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, and that's one of those, you kind of hope once you get outside the pocket, if there's nothing there, just throw it away. And save yourself 7 yards. But, you know, when you're a high schooler, sometimes you get in that situation, and I don't want to say it's panic mode, but it's trying to make something happen.
Well, especially when you see the defensive line of North Shore immediately breaking through their offensive line and pressure coming almost immediately. Cavallo made the stop there. Guidry with the hard count, new play coming in from the sideline over there on 2nd and 16. Guidry calls for it, looking downfield, has time there, launches this one deep, and it's out of bounds, intended over there for Tito Simmons.
And again, when you have a player of Simmons' quality, you're going to try to get him involved, and that was one way to do it, is to try to go right over the top and blow the top off the defense.
Evan Savage on the coverage.
And it was good coverage. You know, it was one of those that had the ball been on the money, it would have been a 50-50 affair right there, and that's not what you're looking for if you're Slidell, but it puts them in a tough spot right here. 3rd down and long, to say the least.
At 3rd and 16 as they await the play coming in. It looks like they're going to go trips to the left.
And Simmons is going to come to this side.
All right, so 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Guidry looking to pass, tosses left side. It was a high ball intended there, and Caleb Joseph just couldn't get up there to bring it down.
Yeah, and you know what? It would have taken a nice play after receiving the ball, just simply because his momentum was going to carry him close to the sideline.
Clock still running after the incompletion.
That's bizarre.
So Candiff on the punt. Snap is back, good snap. Candiff boots this one away. Pressure was bearing down. Khalil Fleming muffs it, looking to track it down, and ball goes out of bounds as he looked to cover it up.
Yeah, and again, I think it's one of those things that, like I said, I don't want to say panic mode. I want to say trying to make something happen mode. And the best thing to do right there, simply fall on it. You know, limit your loss. I mean, the mistake was made. Just limit your loss.
So now we'll see Harris and company, and both defenses have been stout so far. Score tied at 0.
Yeah, I tell you what, these guys have been impressive, and it's 2 pretty good offenses they're up against. So that speaks to their abilities.
Harris calling for it, looking to pass, pressure bearing down. He gets away from it. Coming left side, has plenty of room to run. Crossing the 50 and looking to lay a lick before going out of bounds. Ishmael Burdine was the one who forced him out of bounds, but a big run from Walter Harris III.
And I tell you what, Coach Gobel's going to look at that on film, and he's going to tell his defense, look, guys, you did a great job of getting to the quarterback, but once you get there, you got to finish the job, because you can't give Mr. Harris space, because you can see with his athletic ability, he can chew up some yards really quickly.
The sophomore Dante Daniels had the initial pressure, and Harris just able to spin away from it and run to his left. Here's
benefits of being a big guy.
In play action, there's Daniels again, and thrown incomplete by Harris.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Harris made a good decision right there just to get rid of the ball, because if he doesn't, that could have been a problem, because Slidell had more than one guy in the backfield. Looks like Coach Gobel is turning up the pressure.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Panther offense. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Bounds in the backfield with Harris.
And with Slidell's front 7, I would expect to see run blitz.
Here's Harris keeping it, running left side, and the first guy didn't bring him down as he got away from Nicholas Jackson, and he got very close. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Panther offense.
Well, I tell you, he's like I said, the benefits of being a big fella is being able to reach that ball out and pick up another 2 yards just because.
So 3rd and 1, 9:30 to go in the half. 2 to the right, Cavallo as a flanker to the right. Harris calling for it. It was on 2. Looking to get around his blocking there, stretching out, and he'll be close.
Yeah, I tell you, I think he's got it. I would be surprised if he doesn't. And this is North Shore's MO. This is what they do, and they do it well. So if you're going to drop back and pass, you're going to play into Slidell's hands, because they'll definitely apply some pressure. So going back to what you do, go back to the well, and just focus on being the best you can be under those circumstances, because let me tell you, Walter Harris, when he's on, he's tough to handle.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. They did give him the first down. He crossed the line. They're going 2-back set. 2 receivers to the right. Harris calls for it. Play action to Jones. Pass, and North Shore wants a flag there, and here comes one late as Brandon Bounds. It was going to be a pass to Bounds over the middle, and it looks like he and a defender got tied up.
Yeah.
So the flag came very late.
It did. Who knows if it got hung up in his pocket or what the case may be, but the reality is, it's, looking at it, it looked like the right call. And I tell you what, North Shore is putting together a nice drive right here. They had that big drive earlier, and got down inside the red zone and came away with nothing. So this is an area where they're going to have to step up and put their input on this game, or imprint on this game, I should say.
In the backfield now, Marcus Clay with Harris on 1st and 10. Ball is at the 22-yard line. Harris calling for it. He'll hand it off to Clay. Clay fighting for yardage, and it looks like he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Nick Jackson, number 32, was there to greet him, and he wasn't as kind as your local Walmart greeter, I can promise you. So, but again, if I'm North Shore, the misdirection has worked, the running game's going. I get that you have to keep Slidell honest, but man, when North Shore's running game's clicking, they're tough to handle.
So 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Harris calls for it. Handoff goes to Jones, and Jones will fight for about 3 yards.
And this is an area where Slidell's going to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's going to be 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Now,
and it's not an obvious passing down, but it's what you would probably see under most circumstances.
And look for a pass here. Now, if that pass doesn't work, say they don't get the first down, they're well within Andrew Stein's range.
They are, but I tell you, if I'm me personally, and at this position, I'm running the ball because if I'm Coach Borg, I want my offense to know I have faith in them. So run it twice here.
Jones motioning to the left, calling for it. Harris, handoff, met immediately by Harold Marks.
And I tell you what, Slidell's defense is up to the challenge right there. And it does set up the big question in terms of the kick, because this is a little longer than would be more comfortable for a primarily a running team in Northshore. So, like you said, they've got Stein. He is a weapon and a half.
So 37-yard attempt, or excuse me, 36-yard attempt for Stein. Snap is back, good snap. Kick is away, and it looked like it pulled right.
It did.
And
it did.
No good.
That's 2 big stands by Slidell's defense. I mean, their defense has stepped up when they've needed to step up.
And North Shore's defense, they're ready to go, immediately running back out onto the field. But 7:06 to go here in the first half, and scores tied 0-0.
Yeah, I tell you, it's one of those things. The old adage in the sport that I coach is you can't lose if the other team doesn't score. But someone's going to have to walk away tonight winning this game, and if it comes down to kicks, that's one of those chances where Stein will get another bite at it and be happy to do so.
So 1st and 10 for Guidry, quickly calling for it. Handoff goes, and he'll stretch out for a gain of 1. Dixon on the carry.
North Shore's defense has just been stout.
Excuse me, that was Simmons on the carry.
Yeah, and Panks again in there, making sure that his presence is felt.
So 2nd and 8 for the Tigers as players change in and out. Kevin Boatner subbing out. The play call comes in from Guidry. Packed house here for this rivalry matchup. Both sides of the stands full. Guidry looking to step up and pass. Pressure bearing down, and he's sacked.
And again, that's a coverage. Oh, ball's on the ground. Let's see if the whistle blew.
The sack by Kershawn Fisher. And I think they're going to say the ground caused it.
And I get that, but man, just go ahead and blow the whistle instead of having a big pile right there. You really don't want someone coming away with an injury chasing a fumble that wasn't a fumble.
And we're going to have an official timeout here. And, okay, we've seen this before. We saw this earlier in the season. They have them meet up in the middle because there's a lot of jawing going on. And this is a rivalry matchup.
It is.
It's for bragging rights around Slidell.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a meeting here to talk about jawing and talking trash to each other and the words coming out of their mouth to get the game going in the right direction and have them just play a clean game.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the game really hasn't been overly chippy, but I guess right there, honestly, I don't put that as much on the kids as I do on someone swallowing a whistle and not actually blowing the play dead. I mean, if the ground calls the fumble, blow the play dead, and then you don't have that scrum right there.
But back to the action, a quick timeout, trips right, Guidry calling for it, looking downfield, has plenty of time, now rolling right, pass complete.
Wow.
Complete to Caleb Joseph.
I tell you what, that was a Houdini act right there because he was under pressure. And he rolled to his right, and he looks very comfortable rolling to his right and just able to step up at that point and wing it. And big play for Slidell's offense.
Yeah, Slidell now at the 36-yard line, a big first down there. And, that play happened right in front of us. That catch happened right in front of us. If that was anywhere else, I wouldn't have known if he caught it. That was an impressive catch, seeing it happen right in front of us here.
Right off the top of the blade of grass.
So here's Guidry running, has room to go, and he's pushing forward. Forward progress will be stopped right around the 40 by a host of Panthers.
And that was a good call right there by the Panthers to just kind of whistles blowing, let it slide, and just let him go. And the reason I'm saying that is after we saw the meeting a few weeks back, the dreaded yellow hankies tended to pop out with regularity after that. So it's good to see that, again, senior-laden teams,
Yep.
A lot of leadership,
Yep.
And it was on display right there. Smart play.
2nd and 5 for the Tigers. Motion from Boatner. Another motion coming. A handoff goes to Dixon going left side on the jet sweep. He'll cut it up, looking to get the first down. He'll be close.
He is going to be close. I tell you what, Northshore did a great job of just stretching that out toward the sideline, but Dixon definitely was in sprinter mode right there, trying to get that 5 yards for that first down.
And it wasn't as close as we thought as he stepped out before. He got some extra yards after stepping out, I guess. But that is
that only goes to show you how good the job Northshore did right there on stretching that play and making the sideline an extra defender.
Exactly. 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Guidry calling for it. Handoff goes to Simmons. Cutting up, he'll have the first down.
He's definitely got it, and I tell you what, Simmons, again, he's a guy that you have to get involved in the game if you're Slidell, just simply because he's the catalyst. If he can get going, it opens up the playbook that much more.
Savage on the tackle for the Panthers. Savage, 5'8", 200-pound junior.
And the clock continues to tick. We're at 4 minutes and counting down.
Yep.
This is a good little drive by Slidell.
Looking to cap this one off. And Guidry keeping this one going left side. He'll run into a host of defenders, wrestled down by the Northwestern commit, Jeremiah McDonald, but after a gain of 5.
Yeah, and, that's one of those where Coach Boudreau, the younger's on the sideline saying, hey, don't absorb that hit. I mean, that guy's going to a major school for a reason. You go ahead and just work your way to the sideline, get out of bounds, and save the hit and pick up an extra yard in the process. The other thing is, with only 3.5 minutes to go, the clock is an issue to a degree, or at least it could be.
2nd and 4. Guidry calling for it, play action, looking to pass. Over the middle, Caleb Joseph again, and he takes a big hit, but another big gain for Joseph.
Yeah, he's not scared to go over the middle. I can promise you. And that's the gig. When you're a big guy like that, and you know what? People bounce off of you.
Traven Green on the stop, and this has been a very efficient drive so far for Slidell, but looking to get some points at the end of it as both teams kept off the board.
They've made the right calls on the offensive side right here. I will say that. I mean, they've done an excellent job.
Guidry, handoff goes Simmons. He hit the hole hard, has room to go. He was looking to cut back inside, and then he was brought down by players pursuing him. But a good run there for Simmons as he'll get the first down.
Yeah, I tell you what, Fleming got a hand on him and just kind of pulled him forward with his momentum. But if Simmons had actually been able to duck under right there, he had some space. So even though it wasn't a major league hit, if you will, from Fleming, it may have saved some points right there. And let's see how important that is as we go forward.
Clock still running, 2:38 to go here in the half. Slidell would love to score going into halftime. Guidry calling for it, handed off. Tito Simmons again. Well done by that offensive line. They're opening up holes for him.
And he's hitting the hole with quickness. I mean, it's one of those things where the hole is not going to be there long. You got to have a guy who can hit the hole and roll through there and chew up some yardage. And again, he's their catalyst. We've seen him play earlier in the year. He's the guy who makes things happen. So if Simmons is rolling, Slidell's offensive playbook opens up, and we've seen it on this drive. They've been able to open the playbook up.
Guidry handing it off once again to Simmons, and he'll gain, that'll be a first down. He'll gain about 5 on the carry.
And I tell you, he actually was patient. It didn't seem like it because it looked like he was shot out of a cannon, but the deal is he actually waited 1 split second, and then he put it in hyperdrive and was able to hit the hole.
And North Shore will take a timeout with 1:54 remaining here in the first half. The score is tied at 0. 1:54 on the clock. Slidell threatening, handoff goes Simmons once again, and this time not as much of a gain as he's been getting, but still a gain of about 2.
Yeah, Coach Favre has obviously made it a point to get his playmaker the ball, and it's paid off so far on this drive in terms of yardage. It's got to pay off in points. North Shore's had 2 excellent drives, and unfortunately for the Panthers, they've come up short. Slidell's defense stiffened on both occasions and did an excellent job. It's time for North Shore to have their defense step up yet again, because they've been stout all night until this drive. And this has been an excellent drive by Slidell.
Slidell at the 8-yard line, 1:07 on the clock. Guidry calls for it, looking left side, launches it over the middle, caught, touchdown by Harlan Dixon.
That was a great play call. I mean, he just basically went right up the seam. Beautiful throw. I mean, an absolutely beautiful throw. So Slidell able to put points on the board and finish off the drive, and that's really the difference in the score right now, because Slidell's defense has stepped up when they've needed to.
Yeah, we were talking about drive efficiency. They were looking to get points on this one. I mean, they methodically marched down the field on that drive, and a minute left to go here in the first half as they attempt the extra point, lined up in that old swinging gate.
Yep.
On to attempt the extra point, Josh Wills, the 5'7", 140-pound junior. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 1 minute remaining here in the first half, Slidell leads 7-0. After the Dixon touchdown, Wills kicking this one away. Short, it'll be fielded at the 10-yard line. And this is Jones looking to dance around defenders. Breaks away from one defender, and then a host of Lions bring him down at about the 15-yard line.
Well, close. It was the Tigers that brought him down. We were just
what
discussing Covington.
Oh.
The Covington-Mandeville game. That's where that came in, but that's okay.
Yeah. And Lions,
it's
and Tigers.
It's another big cat.
We don't have any Bears.
That's true. Well, let's hope not.
Well, we were talking about that before the game, too. Could be some Bears.
That's right.
51 seconds remaining here in the first half. North Shore will have 51 seconds to equalize before going into halftime.
Yeah, and I tell you, given the circumstances, I'm envisioning North Shore just seeing what they can get on the first couple of runs and then going from there. Even though there's only 51 seconds left in the half and Slidell only has 1 timeout left, it doesn't take much, a couple of incompletions, and the next thing you know, Slidell's offense is back on the field, looking to, do something crazy like a Hail Mary or something of that nature. And you never know when that's going to be a big difference maker, because, I mean, with the St. Paul Covington game earlier, the last play of the first half, it was a 40-something yard Hail Mary to Jean Baptiste. So you got to be smart here in this last 51 seconds.
So here's Harris in the gun, calls for it, looking to pass. It's a designed run, has plenty of room to run, and he will get very close. Well, no, he'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down.
And again, it was just one of those things, if you can get a little space, then you might just want to throw one up. But I think North Shore is content at this point to go into the half and just say, hey, look, we can handle this.
28 seconds remaining. Harris calling for it, looking to throw right side as pressure bears down, looking to get away from it, launches this one. It's short and falls incomplete. Intended over there for Roderick Wright.
Well, I mean, Coach Borg is putting in the pass plays for his offense right there. So 18 seconds left. You've got the timeouts. Why not?
18 seconds here on 3rd and 1. Harris surveys the defense, calls for it. Looking to pass, he'll take this one, take off, plenty of room to run. Good block there by Cavallo, and he'll get close to the 50, about the 49-yard line. That's a first down. The clock stops here.
And it does. And if you can hit a guy across the middle or something like that, call a quick timeout, and you've got Stein to come on to try a 40-something yard field goal, 50-yard field goal, which is in his playbook. I mean, it's in his bag. He can do it.
And chain's still not set. North Shore was ready to clock it there and spike the ball. North Shore has 2 timeouts remaining, but now the clocks are the chains are set, and Harris will clock this one. He'll spike it with 10 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And now the question is, what's going to be the play call? I mean, my guess is something up the seam. I'm imagining that Slidell is going to take anything away in terms of an out route. So force them up the middle and try to eat up as much clock as possible and try to limit the gain because, again, Stein's got a cannon.
Exactly. We saw him earlier in the season. We saw him hit a 49-yarder.
Yes, we did.
So they're fairly close to being in Stein's range. 2nd and 10 for the Panther offense. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Harris calling for it. Looking downfield. Pressure breaks down. Harris is sacked and the ball is loose. And let's see, it looks like the Panthers have fallen on it
Harris sacked in the play.
as Clayton Tebbs fell on top of it.
That's the end of the half.
And that will bring us to the half
Slidell High 7.
with Slidell leading 7-0. And Wills kicks it away to start the second half. This will be returned by Fleming. Taking it out 15, crossing the 20, spinning away from a defender, and he'll get down to about the 29-yard line on the return.
Nice move right there. A little spin move, picked up an extra 10 yards. North Shore needs to set up shop and get back on the methodical drive machine they were at the beginning of the game, because I tell you what, Slidell ended just the same way with a methodical drive. But North Shore not only has to have that drive, they've got to find some points here.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 bounds in the backfield with Harris. They're going trips to the right. Packed crowd here at North Shore. Harris will call for it. Play action. He'll keep it himself, and he's met in the backfield and driven back by number 46, Jylen Claiborne, the 5'10", 210-pound senior.
Yeah, and he did that with relish. He enjoyed that tackle, I can promise you. And not many guys are going to be able to stand up Harris in the backfield like that, but Mr. Claiborne most definitely did.
Good pad level brings up 2nd and 11 for the Panthers. Two-back set. Harris going with the hard count. The new play comes in from the sideline. They have 2 to the right. 1 to the left, motioning Jones out, and well, everybody started moving there except for the line.
That's not going to work. That's definitely not the way the coaches drew that up.
So false start will back up the Panthers another 5.
And before there wasn't a snap, but before there was supposed to have been a snap, it looked like there was some confusion in the backfield to start. So that play just was. I don't know. Maybe they come back to it, but not with a lot of confidence after that.
That'll bring up 2nd and 16 for the Panthers. And you mentioned efficiency in the drive. Slidell, in that drive that led to the score, didn't commit any penalties.
No, and again, I think when Tito Simmons got going, it really opened up their playbook. So North Shore needs to get Harris going, because when he's going, their playbook's wide open. Option
left, Harris saw a hole, hit it hard, and he'll run. He'll get to about a little past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I tell you what, it looks like Bryce Carroll right there. Definitely gave him a free massage, but not before Mr. Harris was able to hit the hole and eat some yardage up. And again, if they can get him going, that's the key to North Shore's offense.
So 3rd and 8 for North Shore, passing down as they want to continue this drive so they can equalize. They're down 7-0. And they go play action, handoff. Jones Jr. going up the middle, and he'll be driven back. It'll bring up another 4th down for the Panthers, and we'll see Mr. Dunlap.
Yes, indeed. And again, that was Bryce Carroll with the initial lick. 27. He's another senior, 5'10". And like we said, when he slings the 190 pounds full force right at you, you got a problem, because you're going to feel it.
So Dunlap on the punt. Here on 4th down. The snapper, Bo Gaines. Snap is back, great snap. Punt is away, very close to being blocked, but it's a high boomer. And fair catch will be made by Lenaja Harvey at about the 33. Excuse me, the 27.
And I tell you what, that punt was with a lot of pressure on. As a matter of fact, there was some contact. I actually kind of peeked over to see if there was a flag, and there wasn't any. So it wasn't going to be enough to draw the flag, but it was worth a try, if you will, by the punter under those circumstances.
So the Slidell offense, very efficient before the half, marched down the field and put the game's only score of the game on the board. Here we go, handoff up the middle, and Simmons once again spinning away from the tackle of Cavallo, who went low, and he'll gain it 5.
Yeah, I tell you, Slidell has figured out that basically as long as Simmons is getting touches, whether he's in a slot position or in the backfield, he, not to say they didn't know this, obviously, but figured out a way to implement his abilities in this attack, because he's a special player.
Check that, a 7-yard gain by Simmons there. Brings up 2nd and 3. Maybe a long 2. Guidry calls for it. He'll keep it himself up the middle. Has room to run. He has the first down and then some out to the 46-yard line.
What a great read by Guidry right there. I tell you what, everyone and their cousin was looking in the backfield to see if Simmons was getting the ball. And that's exactly what he brings to the table. Even when he's not getting the ball, just as a decoy, he's drawing so many eyes towards him that Guidry's able to read off of the defense and go, you know what, I'll just keep this and roll up the middle myself.
So 1st and 10, 8:38 to go here in the third quarter. 2 to the right. Handoff, Simmons again, and he'll be bottled up almost immediately. A gain of 1.
And if it's one, it's a short one. Slidell's defensive front 7 did an excellent job right there. They had some penetration, nowhere to go for Simmons. And Slidell's line has really been doing a good job on the last few drives of setting some blocks. But, I mean, right there, Northshore's defensive front 7, they were in the backfield and nowhere to go for Simmons.
2nd and 9 for the Tigers. In motioning out, they'll go 5 wide, and that'll be another false start.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you coach Favre right there.
And it seemed as if everybody thought they were going on 1 except for the center, who didn't snap the ball in time.
And he's the guy that's the most important in that situation, because if he goes early or he goes late, the whole world's going to see it. Every once in a while on the interior line you can get away with it, but not that guy.
No. And I remember when I was playing, there was a couple times where I would flinch with the ball and just move it just a little bit, not snap it. And you get those penalties, and everybody knows who the center is at that moment.
Yes, indeed.
Snap back to Guidry. Quick pass caught by Dixon. Gets away from one defender, looking to bring it outside, and he'll get the first down.
And I tell you, Slidell's done a great job in terms of personnel decisions. They've actually put Dixon out wide where he can actually find the ball in the slot. And, man, I tell you what, when he gets the ball in space, he's dangerous.
So this drive looking just as efficient as that drive that led to the score before half. And we'll have an official timeout.
Official timeout.
So we're going to step away with 7:21 remaining here in the third quarter. Slidell up 7-0. All right, 1st and 10 after the official timeout. Quickly, Guidry calling for it. He'll hand off to Simmons, patient, waiting for a hole to develop. And you see that he started going down. He put his hand down and pulled forward, trying to get the extra yard. Good effort there by Simmons.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he was looking to go right, and off the right center, wasn't happening. So he put the brakes on, went to go left. But by that time, Northshore had some good pursuit on that side, and not a whole lot he can do, but he did claw for that extra yard, if you will.
2nd and 8 for the Tiger offense. Guidry calling in the play. Moving him over. Calls for it. Guidry, option. He'll take it himself, cuts upfield, and he'll gain about 4 on the carry.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that was one of those things where he made a great decision to cut the ball up and kicked it into high gear and then suddenly ran into a wall. So North Shore's defense was in the right spot. Unfortunately for North Shore, they were about 4 yards downfield before he actually ran into them. So
that brings up 3rd and 5 for the Tigers, looking to continue this drive. Very vocal fans here. Guidry calling for it, rolling right as pressure bears down. Gets it away and tipped away by Cavallo.
Tell you what a great play by North Shore. The pressure was there immediately. Guidry really did a good job of avoiding the initial pressure, but again, get by one guy and there's 2 others there to wrap you up. Kind of dangerous to try to fit that ball in against this secondary. He almost was able to do so, but then again, it was almost a pick as well.
So that'll bring on Marcus Candiff to punt this one. Fleming back to receive, end over end punt. Fleming will return it, looking to cut back, and he'll be swallowed up at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, great special teams play right there by Slidell. They stepped up, a lot of guys, Caleb Joseph, Tyler Coleman, among others. They did a good job in staying in their lanes and making sure that there was nowhere for Fleming to go.
So 1st and 10, good stop there by the North Shore defense. It's still only 7-0 with a good bit of time remaining here.
And I tell you what we've seen is both of these first 2 drives have been killed really by penalties. So uncharacteristic for these 2 teams.
North Shore getting a shot at putting together another drive. Handoff. Nope, Harris keeps it himself, goes up the middle, and he'll be swallowed up by a host of Tigers led by Tajay King.
Yeah, I tell you, nowhere for Harris to go. It's one of those where split-second read. He chose to keep it right there, and in the backfield immediately, Slidell.
2nd and 11 for the Panthers. As players move to get in position, looks like they're going 2 to the right, 2 to the left, bounds in the backfield along with Harrison. Looks like maybe some confusion down there in finding their assignment.
Yeah, and we saw that on the first drive of the second half. So, again, this is unusual.
Play clock down to 6. Motion across from Clay. Calls for it, handed it to Clay on the jet sweep. Has plenty of room to run down across the 40-yard line. He'll be tackled down there by Dante Daniels, but a big play for the Panthers.
I tell you what, there was some confusion initially, but boy, once the snap was in play, great call with a jet sweep, and North Shore was able to definitely find a seam on that other side. Picked up a nice chunk of yards right there.
1st and 10, Panthers quickly getting back set. 2 to the right, 2 to the left, your base spread formation. And we have a timeout called by North Shore to talk it over. So with 4:13 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, Slidell leads 7-0. Back after the timeout called by North Shore. 1st and 10, ball at the 43. Harris calling for it. He'll hand it off to Bounds, coming this way, near sideline. Has room to run. He'll get across the 45. So to about the 44. That's a 1st down for Bounds.
And it looked like Jeremiah McDonald was out wide. And I tell you what, he made a key block and was able to hold it for quite some time.
Yeah, look at the receivers at the bottom of your screen. You have Khalil Fleming, number 8, and Jeremiah McDonald, number 6, both to the right of the formation.
Well, when you have quality players like that, you need them on the field, and there they are.
Harris calling for it, pitch out to Clay. And Clay pushed out of bounds after a gain of about maybe 2.
Yeah, Harold Marks gave him a nice little pre-Christmas gift right there with that shot going down the sideline. Again, once more, we're looking at Jeremiah McDonald out there. He is a blocking machine, and I guess they're just using his athleticism to make some inroads when they're going outside.
Harris calling for it on 2nd down, designed run, taking it himself, left side, cutting up, has room. He'll get the 1st down before being brought down over there by Bryce Carroll.
Yeah, if it's not a first, it's awfully close, and if it's not, that actually may benefit them because it, again, 2nd and not even a half a yard, really opens up the playbook. Third and a half.
Very, very close. You were mentioning the athleticism of you just put your best players on the field. We also saw last week Mandeville doing the same thing, putting Roland Wallace and Teron Jones on defense.
And we also saw Malcolm Johnson in the backfield on occasion.
That's right. And then, of course, Eddie Smith for Salmon just plays everywhere.
Yes, he does.
Handoff, bounds, that'll be the first down.
Yes, that's continuing this nice drive for North Shore. And again, they've actually had 2 nice drives that just haven't finished in points, and they need some points. So Slidell's bend but not break has got them in the lead at this point. And I guess we'll find out here shortly whether or not that strategy will pay off for them again.
2:52 to go here in the third. 1st and 10. Harris calling for it. Play action. He faked the pitch and lofts up to Cavallo. It's tipped away. Not the prettiest pass in the world, but it got there to Cavallo, and good defense by the Tigers to bat that one away before Cavallo could come down with it.
You could argue good defense by the Panthers as well, right there.
Very true, to avoid the interception.
I will say this, a deep ball like that may back out the safeties that Slidell is kind of cheating up, looking for the run. So it's one of those things that it under better circumstances, obviously they come down with a touchdown right there, but in the very least, safeties have to be aware that they may go over the top, and you can't run blitz from your safety position. So
2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Bounds back in it. Running back, they're going trips to the right as the play's being called in. 3, 2, 1, and Coach Berg has to take another timeout here in the third quarter. So with 2:41 remaining here in the third quarter, Slidell leads 7-0. After the timeout, 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Motion across, handoff goes, and Jones Jr. is dropped in the backfield by Trevin Stacker.
Yeah, it looked like they were going with a sweep, and honestly, it kind of looked like they were going, with that play before the timeout. So I'm kind of surprised that they went with it again, but it's one of those things where maybe they saw something that they thought they could exploit, but it wasn't happening. Slidell was up to the challenge.
And that'll bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 for the Panthers. Clock running, 2:08 to go here in the third quarter. Panthers trailing by a score. Trips to the left. Motion coming from Jones. Fakes the give. And here goes Harris, taking off on his own, going right side. Has room to run. He's pushed out of bounds, brought down.
And he's going to be close.
By number 8, Lajada Harvey.
It'll be a first down.
So a first down continues the drive for the Panthers.
And playing some 4D chess right there. North Shore ran the jet sweep right after calling a timeout, where it looked like there was some confusion. Then this time they fake the jet sweep, looking for a pass. So it's not quite play action pass, if you will, but similar. It broke down, and man, that's when Harris makes a big impact.
And stats from our buddy Pat Mashburn, 12 carries, 101 yards for Harris, now adding to it here as he carries left side, and a host of Tigers bring him down.
And counting.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 5.
So our understanding, Pat Mashburn's nephew's having a good night as well for the St. Paul Wolves.
Yeah, St. Paul's up at the time of this recording, 32-7 in their game. 1:03 to go here in the third quarter. Motion, snap, faked it on the sweep, handoff, goes up the middle. He's met by a host of Tigers there. That'll be short of the first down, but it'll bring up 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, that's a quite manageable 3rd down, and particularly when you have Harris in the backfield. And a lot of this misdirection has actually kind of put Slidell, I don't want to say on their heels, but they're not running downhill towards the football like they were for a good stretch of the first half.
28 seconds on the game clock. You're on 3rd and 3. Trips right. Harris calling for it. Play action. Toss. And off the hand, off that right hand intended for Cole Cavallo.
And it was a great play design. And one of those things where Harris is looking at it going, man, I had that guy.
Had he caught it, it would have been 6.
Yes, it wasn't poorly thrown, but it was a tough catch. I know that sounds weird to say, but it's one of those where if he comes down with it, like you said, it's 6, and it was awfully close.
So 4th and 3, Stein on to attempt the field goal. This one 30 yards. Snap is back, good snap. Kick away out of the hole, and it's blocked. It is blocked. Someone got a hand on it, and I believe that's Trevin Stacker as he is celebrating big time running off the field.
Yes, he is, and for good reason. And I tell you what, it's one of those where the holder, it was a little high, and he just had a split second to get the ball down. It took just a tad bit longer, kind of got Stein out of his rhythm. And when you do that and you give the defensive line just that split second more time to penetrate, well, there it is.
So 11 seconds to go here in the third quarter. We'll see the Slidell offense once again. Guidry calls for it, and he'll hand off Simmons, coming near sideline, fighting for the extra yards, and he'll gain about 6 on the carry.
And Slidell's back in the groove. I tell you what, big stand right there for the Slidell defense. We talked about the bend but don't break. That's the 3rd time that Northshore has been inside the 20 in the red zone, and they've come away with nothing as of this point. And it's got to be frustrating for Coach Borg and his talented offense, in particular in a game where, quite frankly, if they put 3 field goals up, and they do have the ability to do that, they're up in this game.
Very true. 2nd and 4 for the Tigers. This should be the last play of the third quarter. Calls for it. Guidry hands off to Simmons, looking for a hole. Nothing doing. He's met by a host of Panthers, and that will end the third quarter as Slidell leads 7-0.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
So 3rd and 3 for the Tigers to kick off the fourth quarter. The handoff goes. Simmons has a hole, and he'll have the first down.
A great read by Guidry. He basically rode the hip, if you will, of Simmons, and as soon as he was able to release, Simmons took off. He was ready to roll.
And how about the offensive line giving enough protection where Guidry has plenty of time to make that read, whether or not to keep or give, because there's no penetration coming to pressure him.
No, the line's done an excellent job.
And quick pitch, it's a pass. Simmons lofted out and well overthrown, intended for Tyrell Silvas. Khalil Fleming on the coverage.
And no sooner do we say that than Northshore actually applies some really good pressure right there up the middle. If he has a split second, longer, it was a great play design, great play call. But credit Northshore's defense right there for creating that pressure and causing a problem.
2nd and 10.
That could have been 6, if he has one split extra second.
Well, he had Silvas did have Fleming beat by about 3 strides.
Yes, he did.
So 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Trips to the left. Calling for it. Guidry looking to pass. Pressure. Bearing down. Gets to him. He'll be dropped deep in the backfield.
And I tell you,
Panks and Kershawn Fisher.
Ooh, man, they had a meeting at the quarterback. That's what they had. I tell you, Slidell has really done a good job in terms of misdirection and running the ball. But, man, when they've dropped back these past 2 times, even though the play call was excellent on second down, the pressure has been there the last 2 plays from Northshore.
11 to go here in the fourth. 3rd and 19 for the Tigers.
That's not where you want to be when you're facing DB high. That's not the down and distance. You don't want to be that against anybody, and certainly not against these guys.
Exactly. Harvey, Fleming, and McDonald, stout defensive backs. Motion across, and Slidell has to take a timeout. So with 10:39 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Slidell leads 7-0. So 3rd and 19 for Slidell. Had to take a timeout to talk it over before this big down. Trips to the right. Motion from Simmons. Calling for it is Guidry. Looking to pass. Pressure bearing down from Panks. Panks slings him down. Another sack.
Yeah, another meeting at the quarterback. Panks all over him at that point. You know, what else is there to say? He's in the backfield almost before Guidry can set up. Great pressure and look, that was 3 straight plays where North Shore was in the backfield.
In between Fisher and Panks. So 4th and 19. Fleming will drop back to return this one as the punt comes from Marcus Candiff, the junior punter. Snap is back, and it's blocked. They got a hand on it. Caught, being returned, pushed out of bounds. That's number 2, Traven Green. What a heads-up play, watching that ball the whole way, coming down with it, running it near sideline, and North Shore will have some stellar field position.
I tell you what, this is the best field position they've had all night, without a doubt. It's not even close in terms of starting field position. This time, again, we've talked about it. They've got to hit pay dirt. They've got to get some points. You know, their defense did a great job with the stand right there. Now it's time to follow that up. Big momentum change.
Well, now as they're getting set here, looks to be some discussion on the field. North Shore, little confusion with the package that they need out on the field. Oh, they need a ball out there.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to play without that.
Football.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 11-yard line.
Talk about a trick play.
The old disappearing ball trick. Bounds to the left of Harris. They try the hard count, but it's 1st and 10. The ball's at the 11. They're going to move Cavallo out to the right. Harris calling for it. Running to the left, has a huge hole, hits it hard, and that'll get him down to the 6.
Yeah, I tell you what, talk about the offensive line for Slidell earlier on their runs doing a great job. Right there, North Shore's offensive line did a great job. Harris had a ton of space to run into. Now, again, hitting Slidell's linebackers, you're not going to go too far once you get there, but when you're making contact 4 yards down the field, if you're Coach Morgan, you'll take that for the rest of this drive because that means 7.
2nd and 5 for the Panthers, 2-back set. Harris calls for it. Hands off to Jones, barreling forward, still fighting for it, spins away from defenders, and a touchdown. Dwayne Jones Jr.
This ball game is back on.
And the equalizer there. They're an extra point away from tying this one up with 9:06 to go here in the fourth. On comes Mr. Stein to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Dunlap. The snap of Bo Gaines.
This game is eerily reminiscent in ways with the Mandeville game we did here earlier in the year.
Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. So North Shore ties it up. It's 9:06 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Score tied at 7. Stein to boot this one away for North Shore after the Dwayne Jones Jr. score. Boots this one away, and as always, into the end zone. So Slidell will take over at the 20-yard line. And they've shown great efficiency on a couple of drives. Now they need to complete another one.
Well, it's one of those things where, the other side, they're doing their job too. So where Northshore was doing a good job shutting Slidell down for a little while, and then Slidell, their coaches said, you know what, let's make some adjustments, and their adjustments were working, and then Northshore said, now we need to make some adjustments. So let's see how this plays out. I said it kind of reminded me early of the Mandeville-Northshore game earlier with these big momentum swings. And let's see how this plays out.
3 to the left, Guidry calling for it, looking right, screen up to Dixon, going out to the far sideline. He'll have the first down before being brought down over there by number 2, Traven Green.
What a great play call right there. Kind of negate some of that pressure by just setting up a middle screen. Just let them go through and throw right behind them.
That's the second time they've had big success on a middle screen in this game. Brings up 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ball at the 32. Staying in trips to the right, calling for it. Guidry, quick pass out, and it's complete out there to Tyrell Silvis.
I tell you what, this may open up the playbook for Slidell because now, just like when we talked about the deep ball may keep the safeties out, this may keep the safeties out of the middle. So it may allow for some running right up the gut.
2nd and 6 as Slidell gets set up. They have 3 to the right. Calls for it, high snap, pulls it. Guidry taken off up the middle. No gain. He'll be wrestled down by Kershawn Fisher.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I kind of was expecting him to do just that, to read and then pull the ball and go up the middle. But I tell you what, North Shore's defense, they were well prepared right there.
You got about 1, so that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Tigers here.
And I tell you, they may just look for that nice little seam right across the middle that's worked for them all night.
The North Shore stands going crazy, making noise, looking for their team to get a stop here on 3rd down.
It's a big play.
And looks to be a new play, maybe coming in from the sideline. Guidry keeps looking over to the sideline.
And this time ran out of time.
Yeah, Slidell's going to have to take a timeout. So with 7:16 remaining here in the 4th quarter, Slidell takes a timeout as the score is tied at 7. 3rd and 4 for the Tigers after the timeout. Guidry, pressure coming, toss to an open Simmons, looking to spin away from a defender, and he's brought out of bounds. Cole Cavallo on the stop, but a first down for the Tigers. Good play call.
Big play right there by Slidell, and again, when you need a play, you go to your playmaker, and there's Simmons. And he's been kind of quiet, so this is his first chance to really get to put an impact on the game in the second half, and what a big time to step up.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. 7 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. Boatner calls for it. Guidry, high snap. He gives to Simmons, cutting inside and still barreling forward. Great 2nd and 3rd effort from Simmons.
And this one will be a 2nd and very, very short if it's not a first down.
Yeah, 2nd and inches.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now the marker kind of moves out, so 2nd and 1.
And it's a short one at that. So
maybe a half.
Yeah, it opens up the playbook for Slidell. Whatever they want to do, it's available for them.
Calling for it, Guidry, hands off to Simmons. He'll dive forward, and it looks like it'll be a first down. Yep, first down for the Tigers. So methodically marching down the field on this one, eating up a good bit of clock too.
Yeah, I mean the clock is definitely working in Slidell's favor, provided they can find some points here. I tell you again, Simmons really wasn't involved in that first drive as much as maybe Slidell's coaching staff would have liked. They're getting him the ball right now.
So on 1st and 10, 6:04 on the clock. Calling for it is Guidry. Play action, fake Slings it across the middle and off the chest of Caleb Joseph.
And you know what? That's been his route all night long.
He was wide open.
He was wide open, and it's one of those where he's going to want that back because, heck, he grabbed the first two, no problem. That's one of those where he probably thought he was in some open space and could have, the worst thing ever, turned and ran without the ball. He's thinking 6. Instead, he needs to be thinking catch first.
You have to look it in. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Boatner across. And a whistle. Flag down.
Flag, yeah.
You see Guidry up there talking to his offensive line. Trying to get him refocused. Guidry, heated.
Yeah, I tell you what, they've had such a good drive to this point. The play calling's been excellent. To have a penalty at this point and kind of gum things up, it could be a drive killer. But at this point, Guidry's got to focus. And earlier in the game we talked about his adrenaline was rushing, and he had a couple of overthrows, I think, as a result of that. He needs to relax, get back in the moment. It's still only 2nd down, so some work to do, but he's capable.
2nd and 15, calling for it. Guidry looking downfield, has time. Now stepping up in the pocket, he'll take it to himself. Has room to run, cuts inside. He'll cross the 35 down to about the 33-yard line on the stop. Hunter Gill.
And he was calm, cool, and collected right there. And I tell you what, it's a good thing he was, because the pocket collapsed around him. And that was really due to the coverage downfield, and not a surprise with that. Again, we talked about the defensive backs that Northshore has at their capabilities. So, but he did a great job using his feet when the play broke down, and now it's 3rd and manageable.
4:51 on the clock. Calling for it. Guidry, handoff. Simmons, left side, looking to make a play, cuts it up. As Northshore tracked that one the whole way, running with him, they drop him in the backfield. Number 25, Noah Marquez.
Yeah, and they strung that play out beautifully. Basically Marquez cleaned up, but he was the guy. He just happened to make the tackle. It was really a team effort, because Northshore, like I said, they did a great job of stringing that play out, making sure that Simmons had nowhere to go.
And Slidell going for it, leaving the offense on the field here on 4th and 5. Northshore players thought that they were going to punt, and Coach Berg has to take a timeout to get the right personnel unit out there, because they thought that they were going to punt. They sent the punt return team out, and Slidell sent the offense back out. So a timeout called by Northshore. 4:02 remaining here in the 4th. Score is tied at 7. 4:02. Here's 4th down, a big 4th down for Slidell. And a trick play launched up. Oh, Guidry comes down with it, crossing the 20-15-10. Tito Simmons got the ball, passed it to the quarterback, Guidry. A big play and a 1st down for the Tigers.
What an amazing play by Guidry. The play call, look, with 4th and 5, what a gutsy play call. But what a catch. To pull that down and tap it and bring it in one-handed, and man, just phenomenal play by him.
So ball is at the 10-yard line, 1st and goal for the Tigers. 3:53 on the clock. There's a new play coming in. Slidell really taking their time. They're talking this one over. The play clock is running. It's down to 17 seconds. They're going to need to get out there quickly and set up shop. Simmons 1 for 1 passing. And they keep
a big one.
Simmons in at quarterback, and now some confusion. Yeah, Slidell's going to have to take a timeout. So 3:30 left to go in the 4th quarter. Slidell takes a timeout. It's tied at 7. Calling for it is Simmons, back in at quarterback, running, has room. He's close. Touchdown, Slidell.
Wow.
So Simmons, they put him in that wild Tiger offense there, and run to the right. Good blocking there by his teammates. He finds pay dirt.
And we talk about these momentum shifts. And I tell you what, Slidell weathered the storm right there, drove the field. A couple of key plays in there, including the obvious, the big 4th down.
So the old swinging gate. I've never seen a play run out of that actual formation. Well, I've heard they happen. I've never seen it, though.
We may see it tonight.
Nicholas Jackson, the snapper for Slidell, the 6'1", 205 senior. Wills on to attempt the extra point. Snap is back. Wills, the lefty, puts it up. And it is good. So with 3:23 remaining here in the 4th quarter, Slidell leads 14-7. Wills kicking this one away for the Tigers. This will be returned by Fleming, catches it at about the 2. Running straight up the middle, hitting the hole hard, and he brings it out to about the 27-yard line.
So North Shore with just over 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. It's time for Mr. Harris to come out. I mean, what a great leader all year long. We've talked about his abilities on the field, off the field, his leadership, but now's the time. It's time to step up.
So North Shore taking their time, bringing the play out onto the field. As the ball spotted, it's 14-7 with 3:17 remaining. Going to line up with 2 in the backfield. Check that. 1, they go 2 to the right, 2 to the left with Bounds in the backfield. Play clock down to 6. Motion, Clay. Harris calling for it, looking to pass, lofts it up. Cavallo open across the middle, still going. 40, 30, cutting, trying to cut to the near sideline. 20, cuts back inside, still going. And inside the 10, he's brought down by Trevin Stacker.
We talked about the big momentum shifts and what it reminded us of earlier. God, this seems eerily familiar. Is it the moon? Is it the full moon?
The full moon.
That's crazy. That's an awesome play call right there. I tell you what, great job by Harris.
Great job by Harris and great job by Cavallo, breaking tackles and barreling down the field to the 10-yard line.
Once Cavallo broke that first tackle, it was off to the races.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. Again, here's Harris, motion across. He'll keep it himself, has a hole, fighting, and he was met there as that hole opened up. He had one guy to beat. That was number 27, Bryce Carroll, and they just hit right into each other.
And I tell you, Carroll's been that guy there this evening at least on 3 or 4 occasions, and every single time he's been able to stop the momentum of Harris. So that speaks to him playing in that spot right there in the middle.
Harris, 2-back set. So they await the new play, tried that hard count. 2nd and 5 for the Panthers. Calls for it. Keeper. Diving forward, and he'll get down to about the 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, I expect to see Harris the opposite way, and as long as he's chewing up some yardage and you're on the 2-yard line, you know, why not?
So 3rd and goal from the 2. Heavy package coming in. There's Panks, Cavallo, and Harris. And then you have Cavallo, a big guy, and of course Panks loaded to the right side. Calls for it. Harris following the lead block of Panks, and he's actually met in the backfield and dragged down by Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, great play by Slidell right there. They were in the backfield. One of those things where that play kind of took us just a second to develop, and Slidell was right there.
Minute 25.
No timeouts. No timeouts.
North Shore doesn't have any timeouts left. Looking to get the play in, have to
Yeah, they've got 15 seconds left on the play clock, so if they can get organized here, they'll get the playoff without any issues, which is going to be a big deal where they're at on the field.
8 seconds left on the play clock. Here's Harris. Jones Jr. to his left. Harris calls for it, looking to pass over the middle, tipped away by Lanaja Harvey on 4th down.
Wow.
And Slidell will take over.
Wow. And again, it does remind us of earlier. I mean, my God, what a great job right there of Harris with his leadership, getting Northshore down the field, but Slidell stepped up when they had to step up. Great job by the Slidell Tigers.
50 seconds to go in the game. Slidell offense coming out.
Now the good news is both of these teams are looking as though they're going to be slotted into the playoffs. And I tell you what, these two squads are going to be a tough out for whoever has the misfortune of lining up across from them when the playoffs hit next Friday.
Absolutely, pairings come out Sunday. Guidry calling for it, will rush forward. Keep the clock going. So
Yeah.
45 seconds and running.
And at this
left
point,
in this one.
it's going to be more likely than not victory formation.
Yeah, neither team has a timeout left. So it's been a fantastic regular season. This has been a phenomenal close to the regular season here in the Prep Zone. You know, we were talking about it before the game. We said this is going to be a good one.
No doubt, and all you have to do is look at who they've played this year, and the teams that have gotten the better of these two teams are really elite. So that tells you you're gonna have to bring your lunch bucket and maybe your dinner plate with you to take on these two squads.
Victory formation, and Slidell will win. So let's take a second to thank those who helped bring you this game, starting with our superintendent, Mr. Trey Folse, our director of broadcasting, Dr. Melody Menard, sideline cameraman, Rhett Sharp, cameraman, editor, and coordinator of Channel 13, Dave the Rave Williams, color analyst, as always, Coach Jimmy Inman. So from North Shore High School, where the Slidell Tigers defeat the North Shore Panthers 14-7 in the Prep Zone regular season finale, my name is Grant Yenny. Good night. You are now leaving the Prep Zone. We'll see you in the playoffs.